This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. Welcome to the revolution. First, I would like to say please like and subscribe to this video, because right now you really can't trust mainstream media anymore, because these issues that are happening day to day are not being covered. Also, I would like to say um, to fellow content creators, if you could please stop with the clickbait. And this is going to end Trump, and this is going to end this person, and this is going to end that person, and talk about impeachment like it's going to happen tomorrow. You need to understand that there are vulnerable citizens out here who trust what you say. And if you want to keep YouTube as a legitimate source of information, you need to stop that. Because it's not about how many subscribers you have. Right now, we have a democracy to save. And it's about putting information out there that is helpful, not hopeful in a way that hurts other people. And right now, I'm seeing a lot of that. To people who voted for Donald Trump that now have to go get food stamps, do me a huge solid. Wear your MAGA hat when you go to the food banks. Stand in line, own your shit. This is what you voted for. So don't go in there, looking like a normal person and act like you're just there because you're needy and all of that. Because the same people that walk into food banks and take food away from people that voted for their own self-interest are the same people that go and get on the internet at night and troll people like me and other content creators on YouTube and TikTok and talk about we're winning. If you're winning so much, leave that food for somebody else who really needs it, who didn't vote for hate. Please like and subscribe to this video before I forget to say that, because it will bring us up in the algorithms, and also you will get content that best supports your interest and what you want to do. And it costs nothing to subscribe, but everything to remain unengaged. Let's see, I got some notes here today because I wanted to keep my thoughts straight. I want you to remember some numbers. There are 340 million people in the United States of America. Men, women, and children. 75% of them exceed the intelligence of all of MAGA and those who elected them. They came to their senses long before we had a government shutdown, or long before people saw their neighbors being snatched up in the streets and American citizens were being disappeared. Now content creators are being disappeared. So it is imperative that you not only pay attention, but you not give in to clickbait. Listen to the people who are giving you the information you need to act. Don't sit there and look for one solution. The solution is not elections. The solution is not protests. The solution is not calling your senators and congressmen. The solution is not podcasts. It's all of that and more. And let me tell you something. The most important individual in this moment is not an elected official, somebody you like on YouTube, the President of the United States, or any of the numerous people that won elections. and made the blue wave happen again last week. It is you. You are what stands between you and Nazi America. Full stop. Now, let me tell you once again how we got here. The Supreme Court absolutely rigged the last election. It started when certain states, and states make their own ballots, mind you, moved to remove Donald Trump from their ballot. The Supreme Court ruled against that. So they were forced, against the United States Constitution and its laws, to include him on the ballot, even in blue states. Many things have happened since then. And 9 out of 10 times that the Supreme Court has the ability to stop this, they won't. And the reason why is this: they are profiting off of their seats. And I'll give you their names in case you don't know, because a lot of people are new to this, and we need to respect that and keep people educated. These are the people aiding and abetting anti-American and criminal activities, hence usurping the United States Constitution. Now, mind you, these same individuals gave Donald Trump absolute power to commit crimes at large, as long as he does it under his presidency or as an act of the presidency. Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, John Roberts, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas. Not only did they absolutely rig the 2024 election, but they have also rendered the oath of office to the presidency null and void. Because right now, every single time they rule in favor of Donald Trump, they rule against that oath. Now, if you remember, that oath, when you take it to uphold the rule of law and defend the United States Constitution. And this is the part everybody is forgetting about the fight we have going on now. And this is why I have said several times, Hakeem Jeffries should not be Speaker of the House. He's a Nancy Pelosi holdover. Part of that whole Hillary Clinton, it's your turn to do something and we're going to get a black man in there just so we can appease black people and get the black vote. And it worked. It worked, let's be honest. However, the only person that I have seen out there since day fucking one, back in 2016 something, was Jamie Raskin. And over and over and over again, he has been on every news outlet until they became tools of state-sponsored media, telling people this is what's happening, this is how you can stop it, and no one listened. And not only that, he had the facts. He can quote you the part of the Constitution that applies to how the Supreme Court is violating it and how members of Congress are violating it, like the power of the purse. And we can go on and on and on. Declaration of war. This is what he does. This is what he is good at. And ever since I met him, way back in the 1990s, I knew he was going to be a powerful source. And we need to stop relying on people that go along to get along and get people who are willing to fight, like Jamie Raskin. Jamie Raskin belongs in the speakership. Full stop. There is no doubt in my mind. And it is not because I knew him way back when. It is because I am a 25-year student of the civil rights movement and participant and activist, and also a student of history. American history, European history, and African history. So I know these things well, and I know how they're going to pan out. But the Supreme Court is putting us in a position where we are going to have to stop talking about peace and act to survive. That's where we're at. The laws are already in place. And if you think for one moment that if you continue to peacefully protest and that's your only avenue, that's all you're willing to do, you're fucked. And I'm going to be the first one to put the elephant in the room on that one. Because every law is already in place to make your body, your property, your livelihood, and your health under attack by this president, MAGA, and now the ICE agents that are Proud Boys and Oath Keepers and criminals who have not been vetted. This is where you are. You are not in a place right now where you can continue to peacefully protest. It has been escalating, and people have been taping it. And yes, that's wonderful. But at what point is enough slaughter going to be enough? To the United States Congress, especially Chuck Schumer, if you think for one moment about caving in on this shutdown, you are fucking done, because you're signing our death warrant. Once this continuing resolution goes, all hell breaks loose. This isn't just about food stamps and health care. It's about funding ICE and their purchase that we have not consented to yet of chemical weapons. And guided missiles that they intend to use on the black and brown population of American cities. This is the training ground that Trump was talking about for the American military. But now the American military is ICE, not the National Guard and not the real military. It is ICE. That is now Trump's private army. And it is funded, once you cave, with more of our tax dollars than many full armies throughout the entire world. That is the game plan. So if the least of your worries is protesting and them declaring martial law and beating up a bunch of people in the street, consider this. Consider you go to a protest and guided missiles bomb you right in the middle of the street. Or chemical weapons are unleashed in Washington, D.C., Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Detroit. That's your future. Not whether you're going to get your ass beat because he declared martial law and canceled an election. That's going to happen. That's going to happen with or without your peaceful protest, because it's already in the plan and the Supreme Court is already going to back him up. So if you think anything different and you're that dumb right now, I feel real sorry for you. The Native Americans could have told you that a long time ago. One of our quotes is, "Sure, you can trust the government, ask any Indian." Well, now you're seeing exactly what we've been talking about. In the meantime, as a result of all this, 16 million children are going to starve during Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they're going to be helped by the Supreme Court because Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, John Roberts, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, Clarence Thomas are profiting off of their office. They're profiting off of bringing Supreme Court justices. Once they decide they're going to uphold their oath and stop usurping the Constitution, they're going to lose all their freebies and all that money. All that money they're getting while you starve, you pay. Guess what else you paid for? The Great Gatsby party down at Mar-a-Lago. That's your tax dollars. And it's going to be more of your tax dollars if you decide, as Democrats, you're going to say, okay, I'll just take health care and some food stamps. You're going to fund all those parties. And guess what's going to happen? Once the government is open, Mike Johnson is going to come up there and smile and say, fuck you. And Donald Trump is not going to issue any of these things. Until we have it on paper, we don't have it. And the majority of people in Congress who are still getting a check that we're paying for, you no longer have the right to speak for us on that. Because we know how it's going to happen. You're still going to eat and we're still going to starve. So let's start motherfucking starving now. There are already on the East Coast where I'm at boycotts of Christmas all the way. Amazon, Apple, Target, and Walmart. Most of those have been emptied out. Food stores, all of that, because people are not going to participate in this bullshit. Most people are going to try and get a modest meal. But Christmas presents and feeding corporations that keep paying people minimum wage and then calling them welfare queens because they have to get food stamps because rent keeps going up and food prices keep going up and gas prices keep going up, but wages never go up. We speak now with our dollars. That's what we're doing here in Washington, D.C., Virginia, and Maryland. This is the national strike. It might be a quiet riot, but it's on the move and gaining momentum. So sooner than later, you're going to see a vast decline in spending. What this leads to is the stock market having a problem because they cannot pay their shareholders. And you cannot, in the same breath, as a Christian or an American, call people of color welfare queens and welfare kings when you don't pay them for the work that they do. And then make millions and what is about to be trillions of dollars in yearly bonuses. So the problem is not trickle-down economics. The problem is not people that look like me not working hard enough. It's too few people making too much money and then using our tax dollars to subsidize the food of their workers. Then turning around in the same breath and calling these entitlements. Since Ronald Reagan, blue collar, tax paying people have been paying for food stamps. Not for the people who can't afford food, but for the corporations who do not pay taxes. They are not better because they make millions of dollars. They are weak. They are unintelligent. And the only thing they know how to do is sit on their lazy fucking asses and profit off the backs of working Americans. All you want to do is feed your family this Christmas and this Thanksgiving. But they want more. And guess what? If we fold, they're going to get it. They're going to arrest us on the street. We won't be able to pay our bills, especially in predominantly black cities. So we're going to lose our houses and they're going to be foreclosed on. And in comes Donald Trump and his sons, and they're going to make this into a gold MAGA metropolis. While we're in places like Nigeria and El Salvador, mistakenly deported as American citizens. That's the plan. Once you can't pay your mortgage and your shit is seized, they own it. And that's what they want to do. They want to deport every black and brown American, citizen or not, and then acquire your property under the United States government, and the Supreme Court is going to allow them to do it. This has only happened one time in history that I know of. Nazi Germany. All the Jews that got rounded up and sent to concentration camps lost their property, never to return again. They were not compensated for it. They got nothing. They got dead. And those who did live went to Israel and the United States, and the United States became the colonizer of Israel against Palestine. But I digress. That's another story. And now those same Jews are buying the United States government from people like Nancy Pelosi and Hakeem Jeffries and every other individual in the United States Congress that takes money from AIPAC. The circle goes round and around. That's what you're dealing with right now. But this is our first Nazi Germany. And all the Nazis are not white. Yeah, they're going to get theirs in the end, just like the other people that supported Adolf Hitler. He didn't like everybody he used. He used them until they were of no more use. Just like the Supreme Court will be. They're working themselves out of a job. And every day you go to work as an essential worker, you're paying for that. That's why there is a slow-moving general strike. I see it. The guy that started the general strike doesn't see it, but I see it out here in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. Now, let me close by reminding you of an individual who existed during the first Trump administration when COVID broke out. His name was Herman Cain. He was a black man who was a Republican, who was just all out, all Donald Trump, all this, all that, blah, blah, blah. He goes to a Donald Trump super spreader. Days later, he got sick and died. Not one single member of the Republican Party even mentioned his black ass name. You know why? Because they don't give a fuck. Once you are no longer use, they don't want anything to do with you. And that includes Chris Rock, black celebrities, members of Congress, lawyers, universities, news outlets, all of you. You're already dead. We're still alive. We're still fighting. And we're coming for your motherfucking ass. Believe me. After America experiences Thanksgiving and Christmas with no food, and January comes around, and you threaten to take away our Medicaid benefits, all hell is going to break loose. At that time, the people on the ground, real patriots and Americans, need to decide what level of fighting they are willing to do. And if you are not willing to get tear gassed or beat up, then after January 1st, you probably should keep your ass off the street, because this battle is not for you. This is the John Brown Alliance. When you see something wrong, do something right. And welcome to the Second American Revolution.